Hello, we're here with another living room talk related to this upcoming concert on February 19th. And this time I'm here with Mark Sherlock. And this is gonna be fun because I am playing John's solo piece that he wrote for me on this concert. So I thought it'd be appropriate to do this interview while sitting from my basement studio, sitting at the or at John's setup here. So, John, it's good to see you again. As
Likewise.
always. And how have you been?
I've been quite well, as they say, for the times.
Yeah, exactly. That's
I remember saying that. I think I've said that to you before, actually, some time ago. But anyway,
I suspect that same quote is in our last interview
I think so.
of like something like June or July 2020, right?
Anyway,
Yeah.
yes.
Anyway,
It'll all be over soon.
I hope so. I sure
Yeah.
hope so. Anyway, I'm really excited to do your piece. It's been really fun to work on.
I'm glad.
I feel like I'm starting to sort of wrap my head around it. So, so first of all, John,
Yeah.
the title. Tell me about the title, and what is the relationship between the title and the piece itself? And I know there's a little bit of a play on words in the title.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I think
enlighten
that
us.
I think that I mean the title, was sort of a gag, a bit of a gag, having to do with my riding back and forth on the train a lot from Burlington to Toronto. I was keeping a studio in Toronto for, well, a long, long time. But the last one I had for about 3 years. But I had already left from living in Toronto. So I'm not sure how great an idea that was, but that was the idea I had. And so I ride back and forth on the train, and in the washroom, I don't know if this is giving away anything, but I may as well. So the washrooms of the train, it would say, do not throw any foreign objects into the toilet. And of course, right below, being, in the country where we are, it said, ne jetez pas de corps étranger dans les toilettes. And of course, toilette and étoile, which is star, stars in French, are almost like an anagram of themselves. And so that ended up being the joke to myself. Now, in terms of the piece itself, I'm using, like I do often when I do any percussion writing, there's Glock, which has kind of got this sparkly kind of quality. There's vibraphone. Then there are also the cymbals and other sort of metallophones, some of which came from my 1988 Chevy van. So hubcaps and brake drum. And, those I think in a way could form the foreign objects that were thrown into the stars, the foreign bodies thrown into the stars. And then of course the special invention that will make an appearance later on, which is a true found object sort of creation, which could definitely be part of the foreign objects into whichever part of the music is the stars. So, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Now, there's certainly the sort of celestial glockenspiel music is, if there's any joke, if glockenspiel has a stereotype, that's it.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
So yeah. Well, I might as well show people since we're here. So here are the hubcaps. They are currently mounted on some foam and sitting sideways, and they sound like this. And then on this other side is the brake drum from the same van.
Yes, it is.
I think I need to move the brake drum to this side, though. I don't think I thought that through totally well. But and then there's of course this. We're going to keep the last instrument secret until, mostly because it's at your house and not in my house. Yeah, otherwise it'd be fun.
That's right.
But yeah. So the piece is. It's in these sort of episodes between, like, this dialogues between the symbols play the set of 5 symbols really is, to me, is actually in a lot of ways is the main voice of the piece.
Yeah.
For the way I like, really, there's probably more symbol music than anything else.
Yeah. I'll tell you what,
And
I'll tell you why that is, or why that may be, given the music that I've done in the past. And this is, just more of that. Essentially, like, my concerns have been with what I would call like timbre fields. So just the way the painters, the certain painters of a certain era had these color field paintings. Well, I consider like these different things sort of as timbre fields, and or the whatever harmonic structure that I use and finds its way through a lot or all of my pieces. That's sort of like the color, right? So there's the harmonic color, and then tweaked or flavored by whatever instrument timbrely is declaiming that color, right? So when you have like a section, a whole section, like it's all cymbals, and whatever the pitches of those are, they're almost all timbre in a way, right? I mean, sure, they're pitched from like high and low, but it's the vibe and the glock are creating that sort of color base. Then you get these other things, giving these other timbral sheen to it. So that's really the whole thing. It's really just like, so almost like stripes, as you say, like, large fields of a timbral area, and colored by these instruments that have more definite pitch.
And there's relatively like there's the field thing and the stripe thing is interesting because I imagine, I think you're saying the stripes are like, if time is running this way,
yeah,
stripes are like this, right? Because there's really relatively little overlap between these sections. There's a couple things. There's a couple sections where the vibraphone and the cymbal part kind of maybe allied for one or two beats.
Right on,
as a transition, but more or less it's cymbal music, then pitched music, then back to cymbal music, and then this big section with the, so these sort of vertical stripes of like chunks of timbre.
And I'm not always so dogmatic about it in that way, like usually not, like usually there's a lot more sort of, and I feel a little bad about getting really really specific and non-metaphoric about this sort of this area and then this area, and I've done it before to great failure, but hopefully that won't be.
I don't think it's failure. My partner came downstairs the other night because I've been practicing this late at night, and because now I can because they're with the basement and the kids are upstairs. So my partner came down and was like, "This sounds like horror movie music," especially I was practicing the Glock section. Yeah, there's a fairly long Glock section, and she's like,
"Wait a second, that's the soundtrack to my life." Yeah, that makes sense. Then it sounds like horror music. No, anyway, no, not this piece. I'm not talking about this piece because I don't know. I haven't really heard it yet. But I mean, a piece I did a long time ago where I had like sort of these really discrete chunks, and when I heard it later, I was like, "That's not good." But that's one of few, hopefully.
I haven't truly heard it yet either because I'm in the middle of it. You know what I mean? I do think it works. I do think the sectional thing works. I think the cymbal music is really quite, it's funny. I like cymbals. I'm a drummer. I like cymbals, but most of my cymbal time, I don't play a lot of cymbals these days unless I'm playing drum set, which I've kind of recently started playing again, So like, I love cymbals in the context of drum set, but very often when I'm playing with Array, or I'm playing, the new music stuff, and most of what I do, it's so many more found objects than it is like cymbals and, wood blocks and vibraphones and such. And it's been fun to play cymbals again. They sound great. They're great instruments.
Well, and it's
so
like
interesting.
And where I sort of coming from with that is, I grew up, listening to like a lot of prog rock and stuff, and jazz, and all this. And when I hear the cymbal like just by itself, and especially like, on the bell of a ride or some other little tap on a cymbal. Not like a smash, right? Like not like a really loud, and it's sort of, I go back, it's sort of like Bill Bruford and these sort of And that's kind of where I'm kind of coming from with that in a way, just as this, like really as a timbral kind of voice. And when there's so many of them, and you have differences, so you really can kind of create a cloud.
Yeah, no, and there really is, and there's the tension, especially at the end, like in the last few pages, there's this tension between the rhythmic activity, because it's really like, because it is very, the rhythmic activity is very precise. And if I were playing this music on drums, it would be very rhythmic. It wouldn't be, But since I'm playing them on cymbals, it's all it gets all washy.
Yeah, there's a wash.
But there's this tension between the sort of rhythmic activity and the sort of this wash of sound that it's creating, and I feel like it builds sort of energy towards the end, because the cymbal music kind of gets denser and denser in the last page and a half. But
great.
Cool. I'm excited to play it for you. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I'm excited to do it. And anything else you want to say about the piece before that people can maybe think about having a listen?
No, I'm really excited to hear it. It was a while ago that we did it. I got the score out, and I have this just in case there was any detailed questions. I got the score, and actually, I'm really excited. Looking at the score, it really brings back a lot about the piece that had sort of slipped my mind, and so I'm just very excited to hear it myself. And
thanks for your patience. It took me a while to get to it, and so I appreciate your.
Hey, you know what? How many? If I had a list of how many pieces I wrote that I never ever heard, well, this one's. You're on the good side. You're on the great side. Good. Oh wait, five years, whatever.
Nice. Yeah. Well, I usually don't like to let them sit that long, but life.
No.
But I'm really glad it
happened. Yeah.
Really glad to finally be doing it. So.
Excellent. Great.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll let you go. We'll sign off, and we'll hope everybody tunes in on February 19th.
Absolutely. Super. Right. Thanks, David.
Thanks, Bye-bye.
Bye.